Captions suck, and here's why. Number one, they take up so much creative brain power, and as female entrepreneurs, we just don't have the same creative brain power day after day for 30 days of the month. Getting so for real with you right now, my creative brain is only creative about 1 to 2 weeks out of the month. That luteal and menstrual phase, no, I can't be creative. There is no creative juices flowing up in here for me to muster up some kind of a worthy caption. No ounce of creativity in this brain at that time. That's why I focus on creating captions like a content creator. So I focus on batching my creativity and honing in on when I'm actually creative in those times throughout the month, capitalizing on it so that way I always have a running notepad on my iPhone as well as in my content planner of ideas and batched content as well as batch captions that I have the ideas when my brain was in creativity flowing mode. So that way when my luteal and menstrual phases roundhouse kick me to the face and I have 0 ounce of creativity within this brain, I can just pull that up and I pick out a caption from when that creativity was flowing in my brain. It is absolutely unnatural to feel like you're going to be creative 30 days out of the month all the time. Don't try to force yourself to do the unnatural. Captions also suck because you feel like it's a make or break it for your post. And I know the number one reason you're likely not posting as much as you want to right now is because you can't think of a caption. My clients tell me this all the time inside of Bridal Hair Society. The reason that they're not posting is because they don't know what the fuck to say in the captions. And to that, I say, you can always change it later. I would rather you get into the habit of hitting post and posting consistently and creating that habit of getting your content out there rather than gatekeeping your talent inside your camera roll just because of a caption, my friends. We're releasing the pressure of the caption, releasing that pressure right now because you know what? You can always go back in and edit your captions later. And also, not every single one of your posts needs a long caption that reads like a blog post. Not every piece of content calls for that. Some can be short, sweet, and sassy. That's why I say you can always go back in and edit your captions later. Release the pressure of the caption perfection. Captions also suck because they're subjective to the person reading them. What I mean is not every caption is going to hit with your audience, and that's okay. That is why I preach to really knowing who your audience is, so it makes it so much easier to talk to them and have a conversation. Once you know who you're talking to and what they need to hear specifically as a bride, it makes captions that much more effortless, natural, and sink deeper with the other person on the other end of the screen who's reading it, who our captions are for anyway. What I also need you to know is it's a lot of trial and error, okay? So let me pop up some of my old captions when I very first started, because if you read any of my captions now, that is absolutely not where I started with my captions. I started with, when in doubt, braid it out, okay? That's where I started, all right? Let's have a good laugh, because like, what was I thinking? Young Marissa was a riot. Like, please arrest me for these captions, okay? That's not where I started. The art of copywriting is just that. It is an art. So when you are creating captions, you are actually copywriting. It's just like your hairstyling. It's just like your makeup artistry. The more you practice it, the more natural it feels and the more trial and error you can get out. The more human you'll sound and the easier it'll be. So let's get into some caption tips. Number one is talk like you talk IRL. How do you talk in real life? So if a client was sitting in your chair and you're having a consultation with her, read back the caption that you have on like your last 5 posts. Does that sound like something you would say to a client when she's sitting in your chair? If not, you're talking way too much in like a corporate, girly, professional voice. We need to ditch that. Talk how you would actually talk with your personality, okay? Add that flair back into your copywriting, okay? When you're creating your captions or in your email responses, talk how you would talk in real life. Add that personality, add that spice into it. Instead of, here is my bride, Natalie. What if it was, holy wow, I'm actually tearing up all over again looking at photos of my gorgeous bride, Natalie. That's actually something I would say in real life. Maybe that's not something you would say, but you probably wouldn't like have your phone in your hand and be showing it to your client to reference like one of your brides you did and be like, here is my bride, Natalie. No, you would probably say something a little bit different. Like, here's my bride, Natalie. Like, it's just your tone is different. Give that tone that you have IRL and translate it over to your caption. The next tip I have for captions is conversations are two ways. There's two people in a conversation. You have the person talking, the person receiving, and then you guys go back and forth. So it's the same thing with your captions. Always remember there is someone else on the other side of the screen who is reading that caption, who wants to be engaged with. So engage with them, ask questions. When you're having a conversation, is it so annoying when someone is taking up the entire conversation and talking the whole time? We appreciate conversations psychologically so much more when the other person does less talking. Whoever talks more in a conversation feels like the conversation went well. Instead of keeping it solely about you and your captions or keeping it solely bland, engage with her, ask questions, get them to respond in the comments, and create conversation in your comments. Do this naturally. The same way you would in real life. If you're having a conversation with your brides, would you say something like, oh, what do you think about that? Or, oh, do you like XYZ? Or how do you feel about this hairstyle? How do you feel about this piece? You ask questions so you naturally have a conversation and keep it going two ways versus one way where it's just a conversation with yourself. The next tip I have for you is to know your audience. When you know who you're talking to, when you know that specific stuff that she needs, it is like a no-brainer to show up in your captions and create content. When you're talking to one specific person, it is so easy to make captions, my friend. Meaning having a caption that is talking to one specific bride with one specific problem makes it so easy for you to flesh out tips and how to help her and give her the solution, and it resonates with her 5 times more. Captions are the common enemy within our industry, and I want to help you be so mother flipping confident in your captions that you can't stop yapping in them. Which is why I created my consult to caption formula method inside of Bridalpreneur Socials, where we actually reverse engineer your consult conversations and create it into captions. Inside Bridalpreneur Socials, I deliver a copy and paste method. So that way, when your hairspraying brain hits or you're not in your creative flow, you can actually have a starting point for your captions. And that way you're never missing out on hitting post. And remember, my girl, you are one post away from your ideal bride finding you. Okay, keep that content from her. I love you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Bye.